Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Hey, yo, you tune in to One Up Chronicles on Highly Unique Radio with your girl Elicionne and your player partner, Get Money Blaz.
What's up? This is Lamar Odom, and I'm rocking with Highly Unique Radio.
You are tapped in with One Up Chronicles radio show, baby. Only on Highly Unique Radio. Mwah.
It's your girl Chrissy G, and I'm tapped in with One Up Chronicles radio show only on Highly Unique Radio.
What's up? Yeah, it's your boy Highway Tone, and I'm keeping it all the way highway on the One Up Chronicles show. So lock in, Highway.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Amina Butterfly, and you're tuned into Highly Unique Radio, where the unique listen. Ooh, hey, I just like the ad-libs. Hey, get the money. It's One Up Chronicles, y'all. It's your girl Elicionne. I got my boy Get Money Blaz, and I got the CEO and the real Pimpin Ken, writer, philanthropist, he was formerly in the game, filmmaker,
literary agent,
oh my gosh,
realtor,
what else?
Truck driver,
own a magazine,
a truck,
what?
trucking
Father
company,
and mentor, right? How about that too?
Mentor?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what's up, Mr. Pimpin Ken? I gotta put some respect on your name, you know.
Yes, sir.
Well, the cost of living, price of everything.
Okay.
Real OG.
Real OG. So, okay, first let's get, the business.
Okay.
So, Hip Hop Fraternaty.
Right.
How long has this foundation been established?
Well, it started in November 2020.
Okay.
It was started with me and one of my close friends. He's a DJ here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And basically, we started in the basement. And it all started because, my son was down here in the music industry and he was trying to get in the game. He kept calling me, telling me, certain things about, people down here. And I was just not comfortable with what he was telling me. So I said, I'm going to come down to Atlanta and, I'm going to do something for people who don't have money. People who can't afford to pay for short cases, people who can't afford to get in, and I want to feed them at the same time. So we started around 2020 November, and it started off on some philanthropic type thing.
Right.
We just let people come and perform. And the ultimate goal, as I always tell people, our goal is to catch a shark. I mean, a whale, not a shark, because whale eat sharks.
Sharks, yeah.
Whale eat sharks.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that. So that's what we want to do. We want to catch a whale, which is corporate America. So in order to do that, we knew that we had to get our numbers up. We had to form our own social media, which we did, hiphopfraternity.com. That's our social media. We had to give artists a platform where they can showcase their music, showcase their videos, they can chat with one another, and it can be a platform that's owned for us by us. You know what I'm saying? African American.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so that's what the Hip Hop Fraternity.
Our call.
That's our thing, our culture, our call love, peace, and respect. So once it was formed, it just the reception in Atlanta was overwhelming. A lot of people, just started coming. It was in my clubhouse in Buckhead. So we went from like 10 people to about 300 people. Then we just started busting out the cements of the clubhouse. We was all on the swimming pool. Then one of the brothers, he allowed us to use his studio. Then we went up there, and then we got too big for that. And then we ended up going to Hype with Jamelia, who's also on our board. We ended up going to her. She's our media director. And then that got too big, and we went to North Cross, over there with Carlos and Gunner. And that's when we just started expanding. And I always told my members that what you see today is not what you're going to see tomorrow. Life is a succession, you come in chronological order. So, everything is not just going to happen. Mm-hmm. So, long to short, go back to where we at now. So now we've been on all of these major podcasts. You know, people have been interviewing us all over the country. You know, people talking about hip hop internationally all over the world. We got over 1,500 members on the website. We got about another 2,000 members collectively in 7 or 8 different states. We in all the major states. We in California, we in Chicago, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Atlanta, we in New York. So, I mean, we expanding rapidly. We got our own HHF DJs. We got HHF Radio. We have HHF Magazine. We have HHF Social Media, which is the hiphopfraternity.com. I'm going to let my president, you know, Dutch, speak on a little bit. She got a little bit more into it.
Yeah, we also have, hi everybody, my name is Dutch. I'm the vice president of the Hip Hop Fraternity. So I want to speak a little bit about our Hip Hop Facts program. We do a program every Monday and also broadcasted on the hhfradio.com where we teach our artists and really anyone in the music industry about things that can help them prosper and gain new knowledge about the industry. So we teach about copyrights, how to get them, how much do they cost, you know, the EPKs, what's in it, why is it important to have one, how do you get one, is it a piece of paper or do you want one electronically? We talk about social media, you know, the importance of posting and getting your engagements up and how to do that in 2022 because, you know, the algorithms are always changing. So we teach about everything, crypto, NFTs.
Blockchain.
I was going to just ask NFTs,
you know. That's a topic, man. Yeah. So we're going to have a series coming soon, hopefully with the NFTs and how to get, you know, stuff out there.
And NFC, near field communication.
A lot.
What's NFC?
NFC, that's near field communication. Basically, it's something that we put together for Ice-T. Ice-T is one of my clients and my literary agent. I signed Ice-T to a book deal. So we wanted to figure out a way to get the books out. So we put NFT. They are tags that you could put on shirts, books, and everything, and then people can walk past, you know, that person. If Ice-T's sitting in a diner or something, or at Starbucks, somebody can just point their phone at Ice-T, and that information goes straight to his platform, and then it'll take them over to the blockchain. And through the blockchain, they'll be able to use cryptocurrency or a Bitcoin or whatever coin, culture coin, whatever kind of coin they got, and then they'll be able to purchase his books right there, or purchase his music. So we set that up.
Mind blowing! Oh my gosh! See, the industry is like evolving so fast, so you like have to get on, or you're going to get left. Period. Right. So okay, So fast forward now. Where's your son? Was it your son or your nephew?
Well, my son, he's a part of the organization. He's a part of HHF All Stars.
Okay.
So we have HHF Management, which I didn't mention, but I mentioned now. We have J Fifth, Dutch. She's also an artist. My son Supreme. We have H3, JJ. H2O, Lexi Simone, and these are some of our platinum artists, and they all on the management team in cash. So basically, with these people, what we do is we invest in their career. I put the money in their photo shoots. I put money in their scissor rails and stuff like that. You know, we get out, we put flyers and posters. We got a street team to market and promote them, and we do it all at the expense of HHF because we know that these people, you know, they don't have, you know, some of them don't have the financial wherewithal to take care of their careers. So, you know, what I do is I spend it out of my pocket, which is money that we make from, you know, the code. So, you know, if we make some money, somebody become a platinum member, you know, that money is sent right into a pot. You know, so every now and then, you know, if we have a good month, you know, somebody buys some jackets or whatever, you know, HHF Letterman jackets. You know, I take them over to KOD's or somewhere. We spend like 3 or 4 bands. Like Friday, we spent 3 bands. Everybody we about 13 bottles. Everybody drinking and kicking in, and you know, everybody got their coats on. We just showing people, you know, that you know we were forced to be reckoned with. That y'all need to recognize us.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a marketing ploy, but at the same time, it's a good time for our members to sit down and just, you know, everybody was drunk except for me. I don't drink.
I don't drink either.
Hey, bro, I had everybody like this. And I'm just looking, I said, look at these professionals. Look at these professionals. They really got a body.
Yeah, loose, huh?
They getting loose as a Montana goose.
Okay. That is so funny. So you guys are basically a record label.
No, we're an organization. We're a black think tank. You ever heard of NAACP?
Yes.
You ever heard of SNCC? Student Non-Violence Committee?
No, I haven't.
It's back in the day. You heard of PUSH, Operation PUSH,
Yes,
right?
yes, I
You
have.
heard of the
My dad
Okay.
used to be a part of PUSH.
yeah. So you heard of it, right?
Yeah.
So those are called black think tanks, right?
Okay.
So we only have maybe 3 or 4 black think tanks in America. Europeans, white people have over 260. Over 2,600 think tanks. So we need more think tanks. So at the Hip Hop Fraternaty, we hobnob, we mingle with each other. We're a networking organization. We allow A&R producers, people in the music business, whether you're an artist or whether you're an accountant or a lawyer, whomever, to come and network. It's a buffet of networking, all you can eat. So that's the purpose of the Hip Hop Fraternaty, is to bring people together, because collectively, if we share each other videos, if we work with one another, if they, if a producer give an artist a beat and they go in and make the beat, and Dutch show them how to, monetize it. We show them how to do the publishing, not only publishing, but how to get associations too. People who actually collect your money before BMI do. Teach them what the music business is, because a lot of people don't understand that in the music business, it's 10% music and 90% business. So if somebody come to me and they say they want a deal, right? And say Dutch come to me, she say, I want you to sign me. I said, okay, I'm gonna give you 15% royalties, and I'm gonna keep 85%. If she sell 1 million records, she get 150,000. I get 150. I get 850,000. But the production side of it, where I shoot the video in the studio, I'm gonna charge her 50%. We joint ventures on that, but we're not joint venture, and you the 100% owner of the intellectual property. That's like walking up to you and giving you $1, and you give me $15 back. But if I said, hey, I see you got a beautiful Mercedes Benz, you paid $100,000. I said, I'm gonna give you $1,000 for that $100,000 Mercedes Benz. You're gonna say, he must think I'm crazy.
Right.
But I think you're more crazy if you give somebody 100% of your intellectual property, and instead of getting the 99,000 from you, now they get 850,000. It's just it's something that don't gel with me. So we're teaching the artists how to do that, and the way we're doing that is by working together and sharing knowledge. So every week, before we let them perform anything, one of the caveats is that you have to sit down and listen. You have to be educated. So we educate them first, and we give them the knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We teach them, about history. We tell them about, they can't, we was here before Columbus. We teach them about Ivan Van Sertima, about Maynard Keynes, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, John Horst, Mansa Musa, Sunni Ali, Kwame Nkrumah. They have to know the history as well. We teach them that they're not Negroes, colors, blacks, or Ethiopia. These names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, last to 1865, and that it's a shame that if you send a German Shepherd, if you deport a German Shepherd, or a French Poodle, or Irish Settler, or a Chinese Poodle, you would send one to China, you send one to France, and one to Ireland, and one to wherever he come from, Germany. Then you send Germany, German Shepherd, but you ain't got nowhere to send the black man. So knowing who you are and knowing who your ancient forefathers are is very essential in terms of growth. So, that's what we teach our brothers and sisters. We teach them about financial literacy. We teach them that income is not the jewelry you wear, nor the car you drive. Those are material things, but what you invest and what you save. We teach them, how to become investors. We teach them how, to build their credit. A lot of people don't know that credit is the way. You know what I'm saying? Debt free is the way. You know what I mean? If you understand that, well, I'm let her get it. She's like, she ready to jump in.
No. Go ahead. I'm like, whoo, yes, someone else is saying it and I don't have to say it. But you guys, that's amazing. Like, yeah. I love it. Me and Blaze, we're always talking about, giving game to artists. Game as in a sense of music.
Knowledge.
Yeah. Now, speaking of knowledge and game, you have Pimpology, right?
The 48 Laws of Game.
48 Laws of Game. So, I heard like different interviews of how that came about, but can you tell us like how it came about? How?
Yeah, well, I'm in the streets doing my thing, getting a whole lot of money. So I'm driving Rolls Royces and Benz, and this company called me called Simon & Schuster. They offered me $25,000. I said that won't even pay for the front end clip on my Benz or my Rolls Royce. And the guy, he hung up, and we went our separate ways. 5 years later, he called me back and said, "Well, how about $250,000?" I said, let's do business. So they gave me $250,000, 6 figures. I signed the deal. They give you $125,000 up front. That's what they did back in the day. So I didn't know nothing about writing or anything. I just, I became a writer overnight. So in 30 days, I wrote the book Pimpology, believe that or not, Blaz. And so I had a co-author, which was Karen Hunter. She's the lady that wrote Superhead.
Oh, yeah.
Corinne Stephens. So her co-author was my co-author. She's also Wendy Williams' co-author. They did it big, because see, when a company like that is ginormous as Simon Schuster, which is owned by CBS, when they do a deal like that, they put the force behind it because they want to recruit that $250,000. So the more money they put on you, the more work they put into the project, and they brought the best writers on. And then that's when I found out that I was a writer, because I didn't need it for anything. I would write her, she said, write this, write what happened around this time. I would write it, and when I write it, she was like, wow, you could write it. I don't have to edit anything. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I did another chapter, and then she said, I don't need to edit anything. I said, okay. All right. I said, why I'm paying you for it?
Right, that's what I said.
But anyway, we was able to negotiate, and we was able to get that, her advance, which at that time, it was substantial. I was able to get it down to 50% of what I initially was going to pay her, because I basically wrote the entire book by myself, and I don't know, when somebody put money in your face, you get creative really fast.
Real fast.
So I wrote that book, and I became like a legend over there, because every person except for my publisher, Mr. Jeremy Stratus, he believed in me. Everybody didn't believe in me. They said, what is this? Why are we going to write a book on the pimp? What is he going to talk about?
Watch and see.
But they didn't understand that I read Think and Grow Rich. I read, all of the greats, Zig Ziglar, Kiyosaki, I read all of the great, motivational books, Les Brown, so I was really abreast with that subject. So my objective was, to do a parody of the 48 Laws of Power, so I called it the 48 Laws of Game. Right. But my objective was to write the book in a way that I can use the game, the street life, and then bring them on over to the side of what we call the life, which is the positivity side. So we kind of had a dual perspective. It was a dualistic kind of like project where I would talk on one end. I would talk about, I did this, and another, but I can equate this, that, and other to this, and this is what this meant.
Exactly.
So when I talk about purge first, ass last, then I talk about McDonald's. If you go to McDonald's, you order 2 I'll be petty special sauce, lettuce, pickles, onions, sesame bun. That's a Big Mac, but you got to pay to win the 1, but you don't get the Big Mac to win the 2. So that's the same thing. You're paying for something that you never received. So I was saying, well, that's the same thing in the game. If you want my game, you want the knowledge and the wisdom, understanding I got, you got to pay me first before I go in your pants. So it's purse first, ass last. And then I say, like B.B. King said, if you let somebody, if you have sex with somebody before they pay you, then you're gonna be like B.B. King say, the thrill is gone. You know what I'm saying? So once she got you, if you let her try you before she buy you, and that's the same thing in corporate America. They want their money first. So I was able to, compare the life with corporate America. And I think that's why when you go and you see some of the reviews on Amazon, you got people that in corporate America like, wow, this is a really good book. And, I had the guy, the owner of LA Fitness, called me personally and talked to me on the phone. Insurance, the white lady that owned this major insurance company said, this book is really great. It really changed my life. And then we ended up making millions and millions of dollars. And then so I went in there and I said, where's my royalties? And, I didn't know that the word revert means that it goes back, so I thought I was getting 15%, but it had one word in the contract said revert. So when I seen the word revert, I read everything thoroughly, but that was one word that got me. So that means that I went to 5%. So I end up, had to make 3 times the money that I would have made had I would have been getting 15% to recoup the initial, advance. So it was like you're talking about maybe almost close to $700,000, plus, they cut what they do. Now this advance ain't never against, if you sell a book for $20, you're only getting 5% of that 20. Right. So you got to consider wholesale value and everything. So if the wholesale value is 11 with a 10, which is what they sell to Barnes and Nobles, then you got to pay, for the book, you got to pay everybody else. So, if your royalties is $3 that you make on a book with you and Simon Schuster, actually sharing, then you get 5% of $3.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but they pimps. So what I did was I called them and I said, okay, well that's a game I know, pimping. I said, oh, we can both play this game. So I called them and I said, okay, well y'all want to play my game? Let's play it. So I called Mr. Stratus and said, hey man, let me buy the rights back. And he said for the audiobook, because at that time the advent of audiobooks was becoming very popular, and then most people use the mobile phone for everything, email and everything. So I knew social media that this was going to be the wave of the future. So I was just able to prognosticate or predict that this was going to be really big one day. So I told him, I said yeah, let me buy the book back. So he said, how much? We well, give us $50,000. So I went to New York. I went in the office, had my business suit on, looking real square, and I pulled my checkbook out and I had the contract. I made the contract on the line. I went, just found the contract, and I put a lawyer in there, a Jewish name, Limburg, to make him feel like that, it was actually coming from a law firm, put a law firm and everything. And then I gave him the contract. With the contract, I did the thing that they did. I said that the future royalties of the $50,000 would come from the royalties of the previous book, Pimpology, the paperback. You know what I'm saying? So when we was there, we talking. I said, yeah, man, go to money. I'm talking like, yeah, man, let me sign this shit. Let me get this over with. And they looking. I know they're looking at the check.
They're like, oh, that money was good.
Yeah. At the same time, I said, scam over the contract. Let's get this over with. Yeah. It's a simple contract.
There goes the money.
So they thought the money was in the cut, so they read it real quick.
Everything good.
Yeah, but I never endorsed it. I just put $50,000 on it. So I walked out of the office, and then my publisher called me and said, hey man, you owe us $50. I said, did they read the contract? He said, oh shit. And I told him, he said, oh my God. He just started laughing. He said, I can't believe you was able to outsmart those corporate, lawyers. And then I was such a historical figure in the company, and the CEO, all of them, they like, my brilliancy and my intelligence, that they actually made me a literary agent for the same company. I ended up becoming business. Now I'm signing people because they like the way I do business.
Wow.
And they know that I'm a shrewd businessman, and they respect me for that. They didn't never look down or thought it was illegal. It was like, Ken is the real deal. So every time I go up there, everybody be taking pictures with me like, oh, that's the guy. Yeah, he that guy. It's like amazing. Jeremy loved me, right? He's like my publisher. He studied me before he read every book, he read every article, he listened to every Pimp song, all the albums that I've been on, before he signed me. He said, man, I knew that you was going to do well. He said, but I had to convince these ladies that you were the one, because it's like 6 women, women run everything. You know what I'm saying? So, they didn't really get it, like, why would we do something on pimping? So, they taught me a valuable lesson. Then I wrote my other book independently, and of course, Mr. Jeremy Stratus, he was telling me, Ken, I know what you need to go to this company called Lulu. He said they can do everything we can do. So I went to Lulu and I looked at their thing. I got my PDFs and got my word and went up in there. And I formatted my book and got me a graphic design and put it on there. And then I did my second book, independent. And I made about 10 times what I made off the other book. And I'm steadily making money. I remember at one time when I first dropped the book, Ice-T, E40, Snoop Dogg, Nick Cannon, I think it was one more person. All of them put my book on their Instagram at the same time, the same day. Oh. And I sold 5,000 books at $20. So I made $100,000 in one day. Ooh. So, this.
Oh my God.
But see, I it's okay to get pimped sometimes, because what I did, I learned from that situation that they pimped me. I learned from that situation that my book sales were coming from, people like Ice-T holding my book up on their Instagram, or talk at that time Twitter or Facebook, or even MySpace at one point. So I'm like, I need to do this myself. So now, like when we did the podcast Big Facts, 20,000 people bought audiobook books from me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, some people might buy it now. If they want to buy it, they go to audiobook.com. They can go to Amazon.com, type in my name, Pimpin Ken, they can buy my book. So it's just being a smart businessman. And so that's why I teach at the Hip Hop Fraternaty. That's why I teach Dutch. I teach Diddy, all of them, you know what I'm saying? P. Diddy.
B Diddy.
B Diddy. I always miss the P. I'm so used to P Diddy, but I always miss the B. But anyway, that's why T Diddy, you know what I'm saying, and all the rest of the guys, you know, they are fortunate enough to hear me give speeches every week and talk about the music industry. So that's how, you know, the book situation that came about. And then I wrote the other book as a parody too, The Art of Human Chess, which is a parody to The Art of War. So this is how we educate our children. We can use clever tactics. You know, I can take them back into the streets, the main streets of Milwaukee, all of the machinations and all of the, you know, stratagems and scams and everything that we did in order to finesse for little money. Then I bring them up to speed with Barack Obama. I talk about Nelson Mandela. I talk about Martin Luther King. I talk about Oprah Winfrey in my new book. You know, tell them, say, these people ain't no different than you do. You know, the little scam that you run for a little $100, you know what I'm saying? Oprah did the same thing, but she did it legitimately. You know what I'm saying? She worked for a European company for years. She built her thing that she left. She started OWN. And then after she started OWN, everybody predicted her and said that she was a soccer mom and that she don't deal with the black community. And next thing you know, she got Jay-Z and 50 Cent. Next thing you know, she skyrocketed. That's chess.
Yes.
You know, Barack Obama, you know what I'm saying? He started off, he went to Iowa. He stayed in Iowa for a whole year campaigning, you know what I'm saying? Doing street teams, the stuff we do in Atlanta all the time, posters and flyers. And by the time election time come, they didn't even know who Hillary was. All they knew was the name Barack Obama. They didn't know if he was white, black, spotted, or dotted. Yep. But they ended up voting for him. And what he did, he disrupted the entire process of the Democratic nominee. Normally, whoever win Iowa and whoever win New Hampshire, they become the nominee. So what he did, he disrupted by him being a constitutional lawyer. He knew if he could disrupt Hillary's chances in Iowa, that they had to go the whole 50 states. And Hillary, by the time she got to the 40th state, she was talking about she seen planes in Afghanistan. She was just making up stuff, and she was basically unhinged. And he was able to, you know, beat her out because he was young. He had stamina. You know, he was a young stamina. Yeah, you know, he was a young African American. And next thing, he became a rock star. And y'all have seen white people fall all out the way for Michael Jackson. Oh, Michael Jackson. Well, Michael Jordan. You know, well, Barack Obama, he became a rock star. And people, they love celebrity. And that's what got him to be the president. And he did something that was a chess move that I talk about in my book that, you know, we do every day, but we just do it on minuscule levels. You know, he was able to talk Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook and IG, to put donation campaign buttons on each one of our pages for $2. We thought $2 was nothing, and no campaign or no politician ever did that. But if you add up 2 times $1 billion, now you understand why at the end of Barack Obama's campaign, he bought a 1 hour special on every channel, every major channel, which made him look like he was doing a State of the Union address. That's chess. See what I'm saying? He did that with no money. And that's what my book talking about. You don't need no money. You know what I'm saying? All you need to be is a strategist. All you got to do is work your plans and plan your work. A man who failed to plan to fail. So, you know, this is some of the things that I teach my young brothers so they can see that everything ain't all, you know, about the bag. You know, some things about your intelligence. If you're intelligent, if you're a smart man, you plot, you maneuver, you know, you're a strategist, you know, you practice a little deception. And I don't mean deception in a bad way, because deception is every day. You can say, girl, I ain't with that. I ain't no deceptor. I'm not a liar. But everybody around you is lying to you. Talking about some, girl, I love you, girl, you my best friend. But all the time she behind your back trying to holler at your man. You know, you got people that tell you that, you know, they're with you, but all the time they're down to get you. They start at your feet, end up at your throat. So, you know, you must, if you don't practice deception, you still must understand it. And that's what we talk about in my other book, The Art of Human Chess. I know I'm long-winded, but...
No, I mean, I'm just soaking it up, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I hear some gay, I just shut it down. Listen, you know, sponge. I'm a sponge. So I'm listening.
Keep your ears on recording your game on the Zord, man.
Yes. So, okay, can we talk about some pimp stuff?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Look, I'm like, can we talk about some pimp stuff? Okay, so I got a question. Now, I have family members that, you know, were very active pimps in the game. And, you know, there's this thing called a choosing fee. When you were like first getting into? I'm just saying, I gotta know. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Okay, when you were first like getting into the game or whatever, what was your? Did you have a choosing fee?
Yeah, my choosing fee, I said it in a Lil Jon album, it's a lifetime of whole crime.
Oh my god!
Sometimes she get off when she run off. You dig?
Oh my gosh! Okay. So, okay.
But at one time it was 5,000, but I took 2,500 at a time.
Okay, so and then another thing that I heard that you had said like you're like the top pimp in the game on a media aspect, because there are pimps that are in the game, they're still doing their thing, but what makes you like the top pimp in the game?
No, I think that was misinterpreted. I think what I'm saying is some pimps, that you never see that make millions of dollars. Everybody ain't Hollywood.
Right,
So
Hollywood.
some people are Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of my pimp partners all over the country, that I've been blessed to be around, some of them, 15, 16 deep. What I was saying was that, during the Pimps Up, Hoes Down special, when they said, who's International Pimp of the Year, all of the pimps from New York, Detroit, Chicago, they labeled me as Pimp of the Year. So that made me the biggest pimp in the country by way of by my peers' acceptance, right?
Okay.
But, I'm not saying that I'm the best ever did it, got away with it, but I am saying that, but what I'm saying, but what I mean by that is that, when you look at me, and you look at the type of suits I wore $3,000 suits, the buttons was real gold, I wore $100,000 Rolexes, all my coats was custom made, $25,000 coat, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't scared to spend the whole dough. You know what I'm saying? I spent my money, and everything I had smelled like pussy. You know what I'm saying? So if you came around me, you're going to need a condo because there's so much pussy that this shit was about with. You know what I'm saying? So that was my perspective. You know what I'm saying? Then I was the slick. You can't say, Ken, have you ever heard a pimp talk slicker than me? I mean, you never heard nobody talk slicker than me. No. I'm the only pimp in the history of this country has ever got paid hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars for just talking. I've been on every major album. I've been on Lil Jon album twice. I've been on Jermaine Dupri album. I've been on 2 albums, 3 albums with Too Short, 5 albums with Pimp C. I've been on 50 Cent album. I've been on Nelly's joint. I've been in every video. I'm in the PIMP video. Hundreds of videos, So that's why people say I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the only one that wrote 2 books. That's extremely successful since Iceberg Slim and Donna Gould. They have been. It's not a guy out here that's calling himself in the game that's selling more books than me. There's not a guy out here that's that's getting more respect than me. But I always say that the OG Bishop Don Juan and God Burrell, those were the legendary P's. And my partner JD, what I'm saying, Father Line.
What's crazy about him, Pimp? When I was a kid, like my dad was a pastor in Chicago. Had a church off of Sacramento, and Don Juan Church was it wasn't too far. That's when he had a church. And so he used to pull up to my dad's church. He'd come sit in the office, and we'd sit there and chop it up before they go in. But then Don Juan used to want to sit in the pulpit with my dad. My dad would let him.
I gotta understand. But them guys were before me, like Rob Robinson, Tommy Dixon, Bishop Don Juan, Reverend Seymour. Those were the OGs.
Yeah.
When I met them, it was in '95. I think I was about 30 years old, but I was fly as an Atlanta Falcon. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and they never seen nobody like me, so I had the clothes. I had the hoes. You know what I mean? When I come to the Players Bar, I'm like 8, 9 deep. I'm talking stuff that y'all hear me talk. I'm talking about hold up, blow up, barbecue meal, let your next book be your best move. Hey, ain't you tired of making the mistakes, fuck with Frost Effect. Come on, shoes up on the pimp. You know what I'm saying? Let your choice be Rolls Royce. I'm kicking this out my mouth all day, every day. And HBO down there, they all follow me, and I'm like, who the fuck is y'all? Well, get the camera out of my face, man. Who is y'all? And then they started talking, and then that business in me, my granddaddy was a businessman. He owned we still own 160 acres in Oxford, Mississippi. You only need 120 acres to have a city. So the Ivy family owned a city. I come up from, entrepreneurs and businessmen, realtors, So I always had an acme for business, you know what I'm saying? So I strong business acumen. So I'm saying to myself, man, listen, we could go over here and talk in this corner. So I end up getting more money than everybody. You know what I'm saying? I end up being the creditor. You look at the credits on the film they put me on as a consultant. The movie end up ending me, and this was their shit. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how I was. I was just that flamboyant. So even if you was pimping, if you was on the sideline, you know, if you stood next to me, if you stood up, you know, I'm going to knock you. That means I'm going to take your girl. So,
look, I know what that means.
So a lot of dudes, I just serve a lot of dudes, the news blow their fuse and put their bitches up under new rules. Tell them, hey man, break the plate because that bitch don't live there no more. And it's a lot of them. And then, you know, if you look at my book, I give a people an example because I'm no longer in the game. I give them an example how I was stealing all their girls. You know, because one of the things I used to do, you know, Cece, that's the girl that's in the Pimps Up Hold Down. She was one of my bottom chicks at the time. I would have her to go on the blade, on the track, what we call the blade, and I would have her go and holler at the girls and be act like she cool with them, and then she would say, let me use your phone. So when she used the phone, she would call me, and we keep talking back and forth to create a call log, and she said, Ken gonna tell your pimp, Slim, that you hollering at him. Ooh. And she said, huh? Yeah, he got the call log. He could go holler at him now. He said, you better choose up or Slim bruise you up. And, you know what I mean? I was knocking him. I was using that tactic. And nobody else was using that tactic. So I was knocking them. And I was putting the fear of God in them, making them think they're going to get beat up when they go home. So they would choose up, you know, to keep them going home and get beat up. And then I would call the dude. I said, yeah, man, you're broad out of pocket, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you probably got somewhere to check the phone, you know, check the call log, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, she done choosed up, you know, she let her choice be Rolls Royce, you know what I'm saying? She was tired of getting the mustard, she wanted to catch up, you know, so my game is thinking mine, and yours be never think it's mine, you know what I'm saying? So I'm having fun with them, you know, I say, here, man, by the way, man, let's meet up and drink a taste, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you 2 bottles of Moet so you can keep your throat wet, you dig what I'm saying?
Oh my
so
yes!
I'm giving them the blues, and then, you know, if I didn't like them, you know what I would do? I would meet them, I'd say, hey, man, meet me on the track, man, with Pimps and Hoes get famous at, you know what I'm saying? So they come down on the track, and I have a newspaper. It was the DC. If I was in DC, I had the Washington Post. If I was in New York, I had the New York Times. I said, man, read it. It's in the news. I peel a banana. I said, read the news. You've been peeled for the bitch, you know? So they'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Be like, yeah, man. And then if I really didn't like them, I put ketchup bottles by all their wheels and say, man, you know, catch up because your game would never be thick as mine. Mine's thick as mine. I said, you got too many mustard stains on you, man. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know, the bra was tired of making mistakes fucking with Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? You little frosty over there. God. You know, that's if I didn't like them. And every major pimp in my era, the top pimps, I knocked. And that's why a lot of people say I'm one of the greatest pimps of all time. You know, because I had a way, if I wanted a girl, I don't care who she is, I had a way to get it.
Okay, because I'm like, how do you? Okay.
So you had hoes in different cities, like
I knocked niggas from all over the country. Oh. Hey man, I've been in 49 states. One more state, I would have been American flag.
Wait, so how do you know? How do you know that she's ready to choose? Like, do you just see it in her eyes? Well, she's not supposed to be looking at you. Period. Yeah. Anyway,
well, that's one of the indications. If a woman look up, that means she got out of pocket. Once you get out of pocket, that's her way of saying, you know, like I'm not trying to compare a woman to an animal, but you know, when certain animals in the animal kingdom, when they're ready to have sex or something, they do certain things. They moving their feet or they get to acting away, and that gives the other animal an indication that they're ready to, you know, have sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with us, you know what I'm saying? If a woman look at me a certain way, and I'm looking at her, we make eye contact.
She'd be like this.
You know what I'm saying? Or if she smiles. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you ride, a lot of times when you ride and you're on the track, you know, you talking shit. You know what I'm saying? What's up, mommy? You know what I'm saying? Look here. You know what I'm saying? Come holler at a real pimp.
She
you know,
get the snickering and turn.
And then, you know what I'm saying? She try to walk in park. She usually walk. They tell them, you know, walk a figure 8. You know what I mean? You know, walk in circles. You know what I'm saying? You know, get off the sidewalk. Sidewalks for pimps, the streets for hoes. You know, we talking crazy as hell. You know. And you talking, you know what I'm saying? You say, Mom, you so fine, your mama should have had triplets, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, look at Mama, you know, you should have been a nurse, you like you make a sick pimp. Well, I'm just talking all this shit. Hey, Mama, I'm opening the door because those opportunities are open for you. You need to come on and get in where you fit. If you can't fit in, Ken gonna squeeze you. I'm gonna give you some motivation, inspiration, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna show you better ways and brighter days. So I'm talking this and I'm chasing her down the street. And all the time, she's smiling. So when she smiled, I said, okay, baby, you know what I'm saying? I know what you want to do. You want to get away from that sucker, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to spin around a couple of times, and then I'm going to meet you on the corner or something like that. If they come around that corner, and you say, yeah, mama, you know what I'm saying? You want to choose up? I said, what you working with? She said, well, I got 1,000 or whatever. I said, okay, throw it in the back seat. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to never, you know, take money from the brother. Exactly. She might be the police. She might be a decoy. So you say, put it in the back seat. You know, she get in the car, we ride around, and then, you know, that's how the gang get popped. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you say, what's his number? She get to do numbers, then you call them, serve them the news.
I know.
And then you know, you know too much about the game. So once you serve them the news, then it's official like a referee whistle. You know what I'm saying? Now the reason why we make the broads serve the news, or always like if a broad with me, I say here. If you ever want to be with a dude, give him my number. Let him call, because I don't want to be out there and she just chose up on another pimp, and then I ride up on her and she ain't no longer up under my instructions. Oh. So that could be, you know, disrespect to another piece. So that's why we tell them to serve, you know, or give the number so I could be served. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't served, then technically that's still my money. Or you still under my instructions. So that's why they do it.
You still mine.
Yeah, and it's ironic and as archaic as it may sound, it's highly accepted in the game. You know, people in the game, they you know, a lot of people think these women is being abused, and no, man, this is a game, just like any other game. You know, people love this shit. You got women that love this game, men that love this game. They play this for real. It's just that to a square, it don't make no sense.
So how do you? Say she's a square, right? Mm-hmm. And she's green, all this stuff. How do you know that she will go? I guess, like, how will you? Or do you turn a square into?
Turn a champ into a champ.
Yeah.
A false into a boss.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, you know, 99% of the women in the game, right? You know, they come in the game, they're already promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, you know, be the neighborhood hoes. You know what I'm saying? They already fucking everybody. I don't know if I can say that. Yeah, you can. I don't know if they fucking everybody. They might be fucking everybody on the block. So they know they fucking everybody. So they know in their mind that they hoes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so what a pimp job is to do is to give them some direction, some guidance. And that's what the pimp do. Say, look here, baby, you misguided, you undecided, you know what I'm saying? You disobedient with all the wrong ingredients. I'm going to give you, you know what I'm saying, enough game to get on the chase, on high-speed chase for a big face. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you how to get this paper. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you giving her, you know, the game, and you showing her how the game go. You showing her, like, look, this is what you do. Then you get in the car, you know what I'm saying? You do this with the trick, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're going to have sex, you know, you put the condom on, and so on and so forth. Now, some women, like, I had women that was, you know, lawyers, doctors. I had secretaries, nurses. You know, they were a little bit more difficult, but they was hoes. You know what I'm saying? So they require a little bit more game. Now, if it's a woman, if she's a little bit stern, and she, you know, was hard to get, what I would do is I'd ask her, who's your favorite rapper? Who's your favorite singer? She said, oh, I love Johnny Gill. So I take her to a Johnny Gill concert, right? Oh. And then once I take her to a Johnny Gill concert, I go up there and I pay, get the VIP, and I whisper in Johnny Gill's ear, like I said, man, I want a picture, right? But then I point at her, you know, and then I say, you know what? Johnny Gill like you. Johnny Gill like me for real? Yeah, but you know, he want to spend some money with you. She said, huh? I ain't no hoe. I never do that. Oh my God. You don't want to mess with Johnny Gill. So what I do is I call one of my partners and I type his name, Johnny Gill, and then me him to talk like he Johnny Gill. Oh. I said, Johnny Gill really want to be with you, mommy. You know what I'm saying? You better go on, you know. He said, well, how much he want? And I said, well, look here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Remember that other day, you know what I'm saying, me when, you know, you said, you know, you don't want to have sex, and I told you, okay, we're going to go and get a dildo and put a condom on it. Remember you had sex with that dildo? Well, that'd just be like having sex with Johnny Gill. You know, just think it as his penis as a dildo and not a real penis. And, you know, that's how you get in her head, make her feel like she's ready to do it and that she ain't going to be, you know, just like a dildo. Oh, so you tell her, you know, he want $5,000. You know what I'm saying? He going to give you $5,000. So the money factor be there. And then at this point, you know, I would tell her, now, these is women that ain't going to go. This is only for women that ain't going to go. At this point, I tell her, okay, check this out, mommy. Johnny said that before you have sex with him, you got to have sex with the security guard. So the security guard is one of my partners. You know what I'm saying? So I sent her up there, you know, he said, but he only going to give you $300. He have $300. And he said, the security like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying? I said, damn. The security guard said, Johnny Gill ain't fucking with you. He said, your thing and all that. Fuck that bitch ass nigga. I said, oh, mom, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that Johnny ain't shit. We can get more money than that. See how easy that was?
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's go do this for some real money. You know what I'm saying? So I know I probably get criticized for this, but I'm just telling people that this is how maybe it might save somebody. This is how, you know, how easy it is for a man to get in your head. So everybody talking about you don't want to go. I tell you, I can find a way for you. I got so many tricks and trades of the game. You know, I want to tell because I want to encourage nobody to do what I used to do.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? That's how we would get them. You know, they would say, you know, you find something that they're weak in. You know, because you know if you get the mind, the body will follow. Ooh. You know, at this point, all she thinking about is Johnny Gill. She been loving Johnny Gill. She got posters and pictures. So she thinking about having sex. So she do anything to have sex with Johnny Gill. So once we get it to that point, and once she has sex with the security guard, and once you know you take her, you know, you go to the sex toy store and get her some dildos, and you know, and say, look, mommy, you know, I don't want to have sex with you, huh? Have sex with the dildo. Ain't gonna leave no cum in your pussy. Ain't gonna leave no slob on my dick. You know what I mean? I'm setting her up, and she don't even know she being set up. You know, so I know all of her weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? And then I break her down to the last compound. And now she's in the game. So, you know what I mean? All you women that think that you can't be head, you know, some of y'all, you know, got degrees and some of y'all been in college, but y'all know that dude, you know what I'm saying, that thug that you had over your house, that D-boy that had a couple keys up under your floor. You know what I'm saying? In your mattress. You know y'all that had $200,000-$300,000 hid in your basement that was your boyfriend that just so happened to be a D-boy. So any woman can be got. Just like any man can be, you know, turned into a trick. You know what I'm saying? You know, the right woman, if she got no game, she can trick anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it all boils down to game. And, you know, I was just a game master. I woke up every day and I thought about game. It was like, you know, I mean, I lived it. You know, when I sold drugs before. I'd been in all kind of shootouts and all that shit. I was a gangster nigga too. You know what I'm saying? But when I got in that pimping, I froze everything out. It was ING. I'm not going. Send the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Straight pimping. You know what I mean? And you know, when I say straight pimping, I'm talking about no mix, no additives, or no preservatives. And that's how I was for a long time. You know, I lived my life in that regards, which, you know, I don't condone that lifestyle. I mean, I don't wish that on nobody because, you know, it was many days, man, that I woke up, man, and I was like, man, you know, I'm doing the right thing. You know, I mean, you know, every time you see a young woman out there, you know, the fear is that she gonna come back. You know, and if you grew up like I did in the church with my mama, you know what I mean, God is always on the forefront of your conscience. So it was a very, you know, and then, you know, one thing you got to do if you want to be a real pimp, you got to go to the doctor. You got to have a triple bypass. You got to have all the sympathy removed out your heart. So that means I had absolutely zero sympathy. To send a woman out there, you know, and not worry about her, you know, you can't be thinking about if somebody going to kill her. You just got like, man, she got to go out there, you know what I'm saying, and hold up a blow up. She got to work until that pussy hole squirt. That's all you thinking. You know, you ain't thinking about nothing else. And, you know, that was very, you know, that could be mentally disturbing, you know, it could be psychologically, you know, harmful, you know, so, you know, when I did get out the game, man, it was like a relief, you know. I don't got to worry about these women making it home no more, and, you know, and you know, I was thankful to the Lord that I was able to convert, you know, and go from the ghetto streets to the executive suites and, you know, become a businessman. And a lot of the pimp skills that I had, I converted it and I used it in the corporate world and in the business world. And you know, and on many levels, you know what I'm saying? So I always tell my members, I got 2,000 of them, I say, look, man, who better to be y'all CEO than the pimp? Because y'all getting pimped like hell. I said, all you got to do is listen to all them rappers. All they talk about how, I mean, no, not to call no name, but a recent rapper, you know, that we all know just said that he ain't get paid. And I'm like, I said, this dude in private jets, I thought he was getting paid. He was getting paid, but his record label wasn't paying him. You know, we see what happened with Birdman and Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? We see, you know, what happened with all these artists. So, you know what I'm saying? My job is to show you how not to get pimped, not to pimp you.
Right. So, basically, okay, how do you feel we should get, like, be one up on corporate pimping? Because, you know, the corporate world, I came from the corporate world, and being an entrepreneur now, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm making, what, $250, $300 a day here, and I could go and be an entrepreneur and make $5,000 a day. You know what I'm saying? So what advice can you give to the people that are in, you know, corporate America and they're being pimped?
Well, the first thing I tell people, I say, where you work at? I work at IBM. I work at Facebook. I work at Apple. I said, how many hours you work? I said, I work eight hours a day. I said, what is your job title? Well, I handle the operations of the business. I said, okay, well, if you handle the operations, you're working 8 hours a day. What would be the difference if you work for yourself for the same 8 hours a day and handle your own operations? No matter what, you're going to be working for 8 hours a day. It's best to work for yourself.
Yes.
You know, Billie Holiday said, God bless the child that got his own. You know, so, you know, my perspective is that, you know, if you can get up, you know, and if you can, you know, think, if you can believe and conceive, you can achieve. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do. If you can put it in your head, you can put it in your hand. You know, you can see it, you can be it. And I think that that's where the embryo and the premise of all of this, you know, it's just believing, you know, taking initiative, you know, having a burning desire, you know, having a degree of tolerance, because you have to be tolerant, you have to be able to deal with people, you know, understanding, you know, what a personality is, having a pleasing personality, you know, being able to work with other people, forming your group, a mastermind group, forming your alliance with other people, because, you know, no man is an island.
Right.
But I know that in the land of blind, a one-eyed man is king. But people ain't blind. Everybody ain't Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, because Stevie Wonder can't lead Ray Charles nowhere.
Right.
So, you know, you don't want the blind, you don't want to be the blind lead the blind. But the good thing about all of this, if you do, you know, have a skill set and you got a mindset, you know, you can go and leverage you some credit. I tell people all the time in the hood, you know, and when I talk to brothers in the hood, I say, look here, my dude, I say, I got a key of dope for you. What you gonna do with it? Oh, nigga, I'm finna blow up. I'm finna turn this key into 2 keys to 3 keys. Okay, well, I got credit for you, brother. I'm gonna give you $20,000 for credit, which is the same price of key. Cause what you gonna do with it? I'm gonna go buy a key. No, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking backwards. The reason why people in Alpharetta, in Cobb County, all these people live in luxury and they live in these beautiful homes because they got credit. The better your credit, the higher your credit score is, the lower your mortgage rate, the lower your interest. And this is how the game goes. And you can't, all these people that live in these illustrious neighborhoods, all these people can't be rich. It's impossible for out of, you know, 40, 50,000 homes in a subdivision, or 40, 50 homes in a subdivision, all these people be rich. No, what they have is they have good credit and they have jobs. So how you get good credit is, first of all, you don't use no more than 30% of your credit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's called the 30% rule. Not only do you not use 30%, you must have installment credit, revolving credit. You know, you must also, beyond that, you must understand that you must pay your bills on time. Credit means the ability to pay your bills on time. If I gave you $1,000 right now and you pay me tomorrow, that's not credit. That means that you can pay me in one day. But if you pay me $50 for the next 20 minutes, then I'm going to document that, and everybody that's in the credit business, that's into giving money away, is going to be able to see that you paid your bill on time. And if your bill is due on the 1st, you got to pay it on the 31st. Because if you pay it on the 1st, you don't get the benefit of that calendar month. So, you know what I mean, you got to pay it before then. And not only that, this is free game. I'm giving some free game. You got to understand what piggybacking is. You got to know what a trade line is. And a trade line ain't just so much of having somebody trade line because they got 50,000. You can have a trade line with 2,000. If it got a 10-year history, then that's how they compute that. See, these things are like that's the algorithms. They pulling and they pushing. So every time you pay your bill on time, they pull that information and say, good payer. You pay it, good payer. You pay your rent on time, payer. But every time you don't pay it, they say, don't trust them. Don't trust them. So what you want is more pulling in than you want pulling out. You want, and one thing that the only place in the world that discrimination don't exist is at the credit bureau. Because when those people look at your score, they don't make it be black or white. They have to honor that score. Yep. You know, and a lot of people don't know that, you know, paying your bills in cash, that's archaic. That's old school. Why do you think they got so many credit cards? What is the purpose of a credit card? A credit card is not to go to Macy's, young ladies, or go to what's
Saks
that?
Fifth.
Saks. No, what's that place y'all go get to makeup?
Mac.
No, Sephora. Not to go to Mac or Sephora and get your makeup, and you got $1,000. You go buy $900 worth of makeup and say, I'm gonna pay it back at the end of the month. That's actually give you bad credit, because to the credit bureau, they think you're living off of your credit. Credit is supposed to accessorize your life. So if you have a bill And if your mortgage is $3,000, then what you need is to put $9,000 in the security deposit account. So what that means is that you're going to be making money while and it's also used as a savings account. But you're paying your bill. You got a $9,000 savings, but you're taking $3,000 of that savings every month and paying your mortgage. And what that does is that give you credit with the credit bureau. If you got a gas bill, just driving around Atlanta, it could be expensive. Then what you do, you get you a $400-$500 card. It could be a security account from your bank, a security credit card, and then you pay, you say $600, you say $200 of that in gas. That goes to your credit. And Regions, the bank that I deal with, if you go to Regions, you can go there and you can give them $2,000. You do a self loan, and basically you're borrowing as soon as you give them $2,000, they give it back to you, and you pay it back in 6 months. That goes towards credit. It looks like you're paying somebody else, even though you're paying yourself, because they report that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All these are key ingredients that you must understand in order to leverage and get yourself to the next level. I fixed one brother credit, and he ended up going and get $250,000. He took that money and he went purchased a bunch of homes. He fixed the homes up there. Everybody he sold the homes to, he brought them to me, and I fixed their credit. So he created financial. He created financial literacy and financial security within this community. At the same time, he paid that loan back. Now I heard he can get up to $1 million. A lot of people don't know about Navy Federal. Navy Federal is a federal bank. And why is a federal bank? Because they do it for the Army people, people that's our military people. So what they do with that is that they give you a low interest rate, and they loan the money faster because they treat you like you're a vet. And it's not a bank. A bank loan money to make money, so they're going to have high interest rate. These are just simple things that people can do and maneuver to get themselves out of poverty. Yes. Debt free is the new rich. That's rich. If you are successful, and you're able to build your credit to a point where you can spend $250,000 in a calendar year with American Express, guess what? Then if somebody, you get a recommendation, somebody recommend you and they accept you, you can get a black card which you can spend $1 million cash. $1 million cash on a credit card. And you don't have to be, have an exorbitant amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And this is how it's going. Every time you hear Donald Trump say he owed the bank, that's what they're talking about. He have business credit. Business credit is a little bit different. It go from 1 to 100. Yeah. Other credit goes to 750. So, that's what we're doing. We educate my son. I teach him the game. We know the game. A lot of people that's with me. I teach them the game. I show them how to get to that next level. And that's where you're gonna make most of your purchases. Now, what you think is the best? If I went to the Rolls Royce dealership and I paid $500,000, and you went there with 800 credit score, who you think gonna get the car?
The 800 credit score?
What you think they're gonna say when you going there with the $500,000?
What's your credit score?
No, we can't take that, sir. We got to go talk. We got to report this to the IRS. You know what I'm saying? This is too much money. Now, if you're a basketball player or something, you probably can write a check, but they still don't give you. You can say, well, I'll give you $400,000, and I owe you $100,000. They can say, well, sir, your credit doesn't match up. And you take a person that's got an 800 credit score, is making $200,000 a year or $100,000 a year. He can go in there and sign that same card with a signature. That's the beauty of credit.
Credit creates leverage, and I'm liking how the black community, we're starting to gain more knowledge in the credit game, because credit changed my life. I'm just gonna be honest. It changed my life, and me and Blaze, we have Money Mondays, Money Tuesdays, Money Wednesdays, Money Thursdays, Money Fridays. We're always talking about how we can better ourselves financially, mentally, and physically. So credit is a great way to leverage. I respect what you're doing, and I just want to thank you for giving the game, both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? We don't have too many black kings that are willing to give the information, but it seems like in this last 2 years, a lot of black kings, they're I know this now. I learned this over the pandemic. Right. Now I'm able to teach, which is beautiful.
Through platforms like yours.
Exactly.
Well, every other community, this is going variety. This is common knowledge. Mm-hmm. So they ain't learning nothing. They ain't smart. You know what I mean? They're just this basic common sense.
Yes.
But when you have that crab in the bucket mentality, you try to keep the other brother, the other sister down. And we should have, crabs don't even belong in the bucket. Crabs in the ocean. You'll never see a crab in the ocean pulling another crab down.
No.
It's only in the bucket because they don't belong in the bucket. So we got to get out that bucket mentality. What we need to start practicing is group economics. When you form group economics, then what that means is that, we created 360. The reason why they say God is infinite, because he's 360. It means that God never end or never began. If it's horizontal, it's going to end and begin with a line and end with a line. So that's the problem. Until we create that 360 degrees of understanding, we keep circulating that money in the community, we ain't going to never be infinite. We're going to be finite. So, that's one of the things that we have to start practicing. And it's simple. You start with, first of all, finance. Then you get into politics. Then you get into education. And the rest of it, goes up in layers. So that's the things that we need to understand. And people say, well, money ain't everything. If money ain't everything, and then I say, well, what can you buy without money? You can't buy toilet paper without money. You can't brush your teeth without money. You can't, them eyelashes you got
love.
on. Love. Well, you know what? Hey, without no finance, there ain't no romance. Ain't no movies without finance. Ain't no flowers, right? So ain't no romance without finance. And then people say money's the root of all evil. Yeah, if I ain't got no money, I'm evil. You too. So what I'm saying? You can't say that. Then they say money can't get you into heaven. Let me see all the saints raise that. Hallelujah, praise God. We can't get into heaven. Money ain't everything, and money can't get you in heaven. What I say is, give me all the money you can give me, and I go as far as I can go to heaven. And if I don't get there, I get out and walk the rest of the way. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're just talking about like what you do with the money, and I hate that the black community specifically, like our elders told us like, oh, money's the root of all evil. Like, oh, they over there doing some devil stuff. Like, grandma, great grandma, like, I love you, but if we don't have this money, we can't pass it on to our kids.
Look at the laws, sis. Look at the laws. You need politicians, right? What motivates politicians? Money.
Money, yeah.
You could buy a politician, they prostitutes.
Yeah.
All of them for sale. You know what I'm saying? It ain't easy. If we donate more money in their campaign, they'll vote in our interest more.
Yeah. We're gonna get to a break, y'all, and we're gonna get to some talking. You dig? This One Up Chronicles. Tap in down the app. It is free.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Hey, yo. You tune in to One Up Chronicles on Highly Unique Radio with your girl Elicionne and your player partner, Get Money Blaz.